Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Learning Key, your go-to podcast for practical tips, strategies, and encouragement on your English learning journey. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. We're so glad you could join us today. On today's episode, we'll talk about something many English learners struggle with but rarely talk about in depth: fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of speaking, fear of being judged, and most importantly, how to overcome that fear so you can progress with confidence.
Yes, fear is a powerful barrier. It can hold you back silently, even when you're motivated deep down. But the good news is, you can overcome it. Today, we will walk you through our perspectives, concrete strategies, stories, and exercises, step by step.
We want this to feel like a conversation, so think of us as your friends, not perfectionists. There's no perfect English here, just real talk to help you grow.
Let's begin.
To start, let's define what we mean by fear in the context of learning English. It's not necessarily terror or phobia. More often, it's a subtle anxiety, hesitation, or self-doubt. Some common forms are fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly or being judged, fear of speaking in front of others, fear that your accent is wrong, fear that you'll never be good enough.
Yes, exactly. And these fears are normal. Almost everyone who learns a new language faces them at some point, sometimes regularly. The key is not to pretend they don't exist, but to learn to manage and gradually overcome them.
One way to see it, think of fear as a learning hurdle. You don't have to eliminate it entirely, but you can shrink its influence, reduce how often it stops you, and gradually build confidence.
Yes, fear acts as a barrier. There's a sort of negative cycle. One, you feel fear. Two, you avoid doing something like speaking. Three, you miss practice opportunities. Four, you don't improve as quickly. Five, your fear seems justified. Six, you avoid again and the loop continues.
Yes, over time, that cycle can become entrenched. You may find that every time you face a situation where you might speak, your heart races, your mind blanks, or you decide not to try at all.
Also, there's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you don't practice, your skills lag. Then, when you have to speak, you feel weak or nervous, which reinforces the fear. Breaking that cycle is essential.
One of the most powerful changes you can make is in your mindset. Here are a few reframing steps. From I'm bad at English to I'm learning and improving. From mistakes are bad to mistakes are part of learning. From others will judge me to people admire effort, many will support me. From I must be perfect to fluency is a journey, not a destination.
Let's illustrate with a metaphor. Think of learning English as climbing a mountain. You don't start at the summit, you take one step at a time. Some days you slip, some days you rest, but each step moves you forward. Fear is like the wind that pushes you backward. You don't stop climbing just because of wind, you adapt.
Excellent metaphor. Also, change your internal language. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, try, I can try this. Rather than, I'm not ready, say, I'll get more ready by doing small steps.
Yes, this shift from a fixed mindset, I am or I am not, to a growth mindset, I can develop, improve, grow, is foundational to overcoming fear.
Let's move on to story time. Real learners, real fear, real breakthroughs. Let me share a story of a student named Maria. Maria was terrified of speaking English. She would study grammar and vocabulary alone, but freeze in conversation class. She told me, I can't speak because I'm afraid of making mistakes. I don't want classmates to laugh. We started small. I asked her to record her voice at home, just one sentence a day. No listener, no judgment. Over weeks, She recorded 3 sentences, then 5, then short self-introductions. She listened back, noticed small mistakes, but also heard progress. Then we moved to speaking with one partner, a supportive friend. She was shaky, but the friend listened kindly. After some months, she joined a small conversation group with caring classmates. Gradually, her fear lessened. Today, she speaks with confidence in classes.
That's a powerful transformation. The key is gradual exposure, safe practice, and celebrating small wins. Another story. I had a friend, Ravi, whose fear was about accent. He believed his accent was wrong and that native speakers would laugh. He avoided speaking until I challenged him speak to a small child or to a pet with no judgment. He practiced daily, even speaking short phrases out loud to his mirror, then to his phone, then to a supportive English chat group. Over time, his confidence grew and he realized people were more interested in meaning and communication than accent perfection.
These stories show you don't leap from fear to fearless in a day, but step by step, you can shrink it. Now let's go deep into practical strategies and exercises you can use. I'll go through various categories and we'll talk through them.
Begin with tiny, manageable tasks that feel safe. For example, record yourself saying one sentence each day. Read out loud a short paragraph. Talk to a voice assistant in English. Practice in front of a mirror. Whisper phrases before speaking full voice. Use shadowing exercises like listen and repeat. These micro steps help your brain and mouth get used to speaking without pressure.
Yes, micro steps build neural pathways gradually. Each small success weakens fear a little.
And find environments where the cost of error is low. This could be language exchange with fellow learners, supportive groups with friends, using apps with voice chat and forgiving partners, self talk speaking to yourself, recording private audio or video. In these settings, mistakes don't carry social risk. You can fail, recover, and try again.
I always tell students, safety zone practice is your training ground. When you make mistakes there, no harm is done, and you learn.
And fear often comes from uncertainty. What will I say? Will my brain freeze? To reduce that, you can prepare.
Scripts or pre-written dialogues for common topics like introductions or daily topics. Phrase banks you can pull from, backup questions, fillers, cue cards. When you have a script, you feel safer. Over time, you'll deviate from it naturally.
Yes, even native speakers sometimes use cue cards, bullet points, or outline notes in speeches. You're giving yourself scaffolding. And once micro steps and safe settings feel easier, start expanding. Move from recording yourself to speaking to one person. Move from private voice chat to small group conversation. Gradually enter more public settings like small club, class, meetup. Challenge yourself with slightly more difficult topics. Volunteer small speaking roles or read aloud in class. This is like physical training. You increase weight gradually. You don't start with the hardest tasks immediately.
Yes, one danger is jumping too fast. If you rush to open mic or public speaking before you're ready, you may traumatize yourself and reinforce fear. So choose your pace and listen to yourself.
Also, your internal dialogue matters. Here are some ideas. Before speaking, tell yourself, I can try, I can improve. Use affirmations like, I am brave to speak, mistakes help me learn. Practice mindfulness or breathing before speaking. Deep breath, focus. Visualize success, like, imagine you speak confidently, people understand you. Recognize and counter negative thoughts like, I'll mess up, to, even if I make mistakes, people will understand and it's okay.
Yes, cognitive behavioral techniques work here. When you notice a fearful thought, question it. What evidence is there? What's the worst that could happen? Could I recover? Often the fear is overblown.
And don't forget to track your progress. Some suggestions. Keep a learning journal. Write down when you spoke, what you felt. what mistakes you made, and what you learned. Record and compare older and newer audios. Hear your improvement. Ask trusted peers or teacher for supportive feedback, focusing on strengths and gentle suggestions. Celebrate small wins every time you speak, even minimally.
Yes, fear often makes you only see failures. If you actively track progress, you train your brain to see the positives too. Also, watching videos with subtitles, shadowing, repeating short clips can build muscle memory for speech and reduce the fear of silence when speaking.
Now, let's address some common objections or internal barriers learners often express and how to counter them.
Many learners think only kids can achieve fluency, but research and experience show adults can learn effectively. The critical period notion is exaggerated. Your brain is plastic. With consistent effort, you can improve. Focus on consistent, small effort, not speed. Celebrate progress, not perfection.
Intelligibility and clarity are. Even native speakers have regional accents. What matters is that people understand you. You can improve pronunciation gradually, but also accept that having an accent is normal and okay.
Being shy or introverted is a personality trait, not a barrier. You don't need to be extroverted to succeed. You can progress using smaller, comfortable steps, one of recordings, and gradually expand as you feel comfortable. Also, remind yourself speaking doesn't mean performing, it's communication.
It's okay if you don't know every word or grammar. You can still speak with what you have, using simpler sentences, paraphrasing, asking clarification questions. Most communication is about conveying meaning, not perfect grammar. Also, as you speak more, you'll notice gaps and learn vocabulary and context.
Yes, past negative experiences can haunt you, but every experience is not a permanent verdict. You can choose to rewrite your narrative. This one mistake doesn't define your ability. Use it as a lesson, not a reason to stop. If possible, reflect. Was the reaction as bad as you thought? Often people are kinder than you imagine.
Now let's start our roleplay segment. Here's a sample roleplay you can practice or imagine. Hi, David. How are you today?
I'm good, Anna. Thanks. So, I heard you've been practicing speaking English out loud. How's that going?
It's been nerve-wracking, honestly. I tried recording myself reading a paragraph. My heart was racing. I kept thinking, what if I mispronounce something? But I did it anyway.
That's brave. What did you notice when you listened back?
There were mistakes, yes. I stumbled over one word, but also some parts sounded clear and confident. And I realized I actually did it. That gives me hope.
Exactly, that's a win. Maybe next time you can speak to a friend or read something you like. And if you make mistakes, it's okay. We learn from them.
I will. It helps hearing it from you. And to our listeners, if you're listening and feeling that nervousness, know that you're not alone. Start where you can, celebrate small steps, and keep going.
Now, Anna, imagine we have some listener questions. Let's answer a few. Listener question one: I'm too afraid to even start speaking. How do I break through that barrier?
Start with silenceless speaking. Whisper phrases to yourself. Talk in your mind, shadow short audios, record one simple line. Do this daily until it feels less scary. Then gradually move outward, speaking to self, then to partner.
Question two: I listen to native speakers and feel insecure. Should I only listen to slow learners or simple content?
Listening to native speakers is valuable. Your ear becomes accustomed to natural speed, rhythm, intonation, but mix it with slower, learner friendly content so you don't feel overwhelmed. The balance helps you progressively adjust.
Question three: what if people laugh or correct me in a harsh way?
That feels painful, but first, many people are kind or indifferent, not harsh. If someone is rude, it says more about them than you. Use that as a reason to keep going. Also, begin with safe and supportive environments and gradually expand before exposing yourself to critical audiences.
Also, prepare responses. Thanks for feedback. Could you repeat that? I'm learning. Excuse mistakes. These phrases help you stay calm in the face of criticism.
One central truth: mistakes are inevitable and they're useful. They show you what you don't yet know. Every error is a clue.
Yes, instead of hiding mistakes, analyze them gently and say, what could I do differently next time? Over time, your mistakes shrink in frequency and significance. Also, track the most common errors you make and focus on them, but don't let perfectionism paralyze you.
If you feel discouraged, remember, every speaker you admire once made mistakes. Fear often signals that you're stretching. Your voice and ideas are valuable. People appreciate effort and clarity more than perfection.
And sometimes the fear never fully disappears. That's okay. Even advanced learners feel nervous when speaking in new settings. The difference is they don't let that fear stop them. They speak anyway. That's courage, not absence of fear.
Let's recap the main points. 1. Fear is normal. Many learners face it. 2. Identify specific fears, mistakes, judgment, and accent. 3. Reframe mindset. Adopt growth mindset, positive self talk. 4. Use micro steps and safe, low stakes practice. 5. Gradual exposure. Expand your speaking zone slowly. 6. Scripts, preparation, cue cards reduce uncertainty. 7. Reflection, journaling, and feedback help you learn. 8. Technology and apps assist practice. 9. Address common internal objections. 10. Mindset tools, visualization, self compassion, goal anchoring. 11. Embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. 12. Encourage consistency and persistence. If you integrate even a few of these into your routine, you will see fear shrink and confidence grow.
Well, Anna, we've covered a lot of ground. I feel excited for our listeners. I hope they've realized they're not alone in their fears and that step by step change is possible.
Yes, to all listeners, you can overcome fear. It won't vanish overnight, but with patience, persistence, and small steps, it will fade. Keep going. Speak even when your heart races. Over time, your voice will become stronger.
We'd love to hear from you. Try one of the strategies we discussed this week. Record your voice, speak to someone, use affirmations, and share your experience. You can send us messages or comments, and we'll feature stories in future episodes.
Thank you so much for joining us today on English Learning Key. Keep practicing, keep being brave, and remember your English journey is meaningful. Until next time, speak, learn, and grow.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.